Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at @AdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today's a very special reunion 2020 episode. So that's where I bring on guests that I've had on in the past, and I just wanted to talk to them some more, so I bring them back. I didn't get enough the first time. Today on the show, Elia Fuentes, who is co-owner over at Lotus Escrow. Elia, welcome back to the show.
Adam, thank you so much for having me, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and excited to get into, today the audience has a special treat because we don't do this often. We're going to go into some of the basics and get a little bit technical on what it means to be an escrow and the whole escrow process. But before we do that, I don't want to assume that everybody listened to your first episode. So that being said, tell us a little bit more about your business, Lotus Escrow.
Sure. Thank you so much. So my name is Elia Fuentes, and I am the owner of Lotus Escrow. I've been in escrow for over 20 years, and we handle everything relating to escrow, your business, your home, your liquor license, everything like that.
That's awesome. And I think it's an understatement to say you've been in business, in the business for 20 years. I know you have a passion for escrow that is unrivaled, in my opinion, by anybody. So if you're listening to this, go check out Elia's first episode, and you will see she brings the fire to escrow. It's exciting. That being said, and she's a huge industry advocate. That being said, let's get into some of the basics. Oh, I know. Let's get into some of the basics. So what does it mean? Let's just start off really simple. What does it mean to be an escrow?
Well, it's different things, and that's why I enjoy you starting right there, because I think, for a buyer, when they go see the property, and they put that offer, they think they're already in escrow, but, they just submitted an offer waiting for a seller to accept their offer. It's almost like a bidding, like an auction, like you're out there putting your best offer. And then, but to be in escrow means that your offer has now been accepted by the seller, and you have now been moved into the escrow side, which is me, where I get to hold the money, your deposit, and I accept the contract that you submitted to the seller. And now I get to coordinate between the buyer, the seller, the lender, the real estate agent, and all the parties that come into the picture, including with finally, the notary that gets to close the transaction for us at the end. So in escrow means you've already gone through the whole process and your offer has come out winning.
Okay, so you make the process sound infinitely easier than it actually is, which but that's nice. So based off of what you said, it's like, yeah, you just do it. It's okay. That's not the truth, though. Let's go further. What's the difference between kind of working with a really seasoned professional versus not? And we're not asking you, obviously, to call anybody out, but give us some horror stories. Tell us what happens, what goes wrong when you don't have the right type of escrow agent on your side.
And that is great, because, when you said I am an industry advocate, that's exactly how I feel. Right now the escrow industry has a little bit of this whole wire fraud going on. So it means somebody is about to go into escrow. They're about to put their deposit in, and sometimes they forget to call or to verify that escrow is actually there. Actually, there's millions of dollars being, going into loss right now because funds are being wired to the incorrect people, their emails being hacked. So before you wire your funds, before you choose your escrow provider, check them out. Call them. See if they exist. You can go on Google. You can verify their reviews. I always say, to buy a coffee, a tea, you Yelp. Why not your service providers? Why not see what other professionals are saying about them or other consumers? What is their experience? call around, ask questions. Now with the escrow service, call and say, are you going to be my main point of contact if I have questions? What exactly happens once I go into escrow? Kind of like an interview, just so that you, the consumer, you're more aware of what the expectations are when you open escrow with us. I send an email that kind of lets you know what's going to happen through the escrow process so that you know who to contact and who is doing what during the whole escrow process.
Let's talk about communication between yourself, the real estate agent, and the client, and what that looks like and how important and why that's important.
Well, it's important because, how they say lost in translation, too many hens in the pot, things get a little confusing. Your real estate agent or your lender may want to be involved because they want to know what's going on. They want to make sure that you're receiving the right information. But escrow, we are the main contact, and we send out all the details. And if you have a question, you can reach out to us directly versus, going to your agent that might not know exactly what that form is, not because they don't know the process, but because, their escrow forms or their lender forms or it's coming from the termite company. So I always say having direct contact with your escrow officer is just going to make things easier for you. It's going to avoid, moments of panic, as Adam referred. It's not all that simple.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about escrow for businesses and business owners. What does that look like?
Well, escrow for business owners is a little bit tricky because what I tell people is there's no title. Okay, there's basically, you're the owner, you don't know, you have to say I owe this person or I don't owe that person. And you kind of have to do this extra search at the county level, at the state level, to make sure that all claims of a business are being paid. Sometimes the smaller businesses are not obviously as organized as the bigger ones. So sometimes there's surprises during the escrow process, not enough funds. So escrow kind of deals with everyone, kind of from the guy that provides the meat to the guy that brings the table covers, the bread, the wine, all of that. So, if there's claims with the employees at the employment development, those are all things that escrow clears. So what I say to people when they're first going in there to buy a business is, have you ever had a business? Are you going to contract someone to teach you for a little bit of time how to run business? Because like everything, if you don't know, you can get into trouble. You may not understand how overwhelming it can become to own a business. So we want to see you succeed. So sometimes we try to partner you up with a seasoned business owner in that industry to help you, have that business for a long period of time.
That's awesome. And what is, just curious, so for some of the cases that you've seen, I know this is going to vary, but like due diligence and all those periods for business and business transfer, what does that kind of process even look like? Right.
I tell people, look, there's the UCC code.
You're getting into you put on your escrow officer voice for me. Thank you.
Yeah,
Continue.
Well, because, I want people to understand that everything's a process. Sometimes people are like, well, escrow wants us to do this. And in reality, it's the government, and it's either the state or the county level. But the truth of the matter is that all those things have been set in place to protect you, the consumer. The government doesn't want you to buy a business that you haven't done the due diligence on, meaning that there's a required 12-day publication period, 12 business days. This is the main concept, okay? Business days, not calendar days. And that is, it's key. People are like, okay, so I can close on day 13. It's like, no, 12 business days. And that is put in place to protect you, the person buying the business, from complying with the law. So meaning, I'm buying this restaurant. You don't want someone to come knock on your door and say, hey, by the way, that vending machine is mine. And then you're going to say, well, no, I paid money for that. And they're going to say, well, no, we didn't see your publication on the local newspaper. So it's called successor liability. If you don't follow the law, people can come knocking on your door once you buy that business. Once you comply with the law and the publication has been out there for the public to review it, if no one comes forward, you're free. No one can come knocking at your door because you did what the law asked you to do. If they missed it, well, they missed it.
That's great. So, Elia, if somebody is listening to this and they want more information on Lotus Escrow, first of all, what kind of geographies do you work in, what locations, and also the best way for them to connect?
Well, I say, we cover everything from San Diego all the way to Northern California. We actually cover the whole state. But, reach out to us. Ask us questions. Depending on your area, we may be able to, assist you, give you more details. Additionally, you can always find us online. You can find us through our Yelp, through our Google, through our website. You can email us. You can, fax us. People still send us faxes, believe it or not. And obviously, you can find us on social media. We love to connect with people. Or, if you're not even in a transaction, but you just want to understand what it's like to own a home or be aware of the process, follow us on social media because we post a lot of information that you may not be aware of. And if you come up a question or if you know of a neighbor that's dealing with the real estate, send them over. We're always happy to answer any questions, no strings attached.
Awesome. And what are those social media handles and website, please?
All right. So www.lotusescrow.com. On Google, Lotus Escrow. On Google, Elia Fuentes. Instagram, Elia_Lotus. On Facebook, Elia Fuentes. And our phone number, you can always reach us at the 626-262-4333.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Elia, really been great catching up with you and bringing you back on the show, and still see that you're doing great work over at Lotus Escrow. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of value and had a lot of fun out of this. I know we sure did. If you did, then don't forget, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. Share this with your friends and your family. I mean, do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. It does mean a lot to me and my team appreciate it. And Elia, thanks again for coming on the show.
Adam, thank you so much. As always, thank you for everything that you do. We appreciate being part of your team.